Okay, my camera's fuzzy. Hold on. Shoot. Oh, man. Let me try and correct this. Sorry, guys. I'm still fuzzy. What's the symbolism here? Let's correct this. Okay. Let's correct this. What can I do here? Okay, let me go to my settings. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this is so funny. Sorry, guys. So very interesting. I'm not in focus. What is the symbolism of this? Feel free to add some your own thoughts about this. I'm fuzzy. Is this helping? Oh. Geez, okay. How do we handle this one? Well, it's funny too because Mercury's gone direct today. We're in this, is it today? Well, very, very soon. We're in the middle of this transition from Mercury retrograde, which is a huge upgrade field, into Mercury going direct. So this kind of stuff can happen. And it's definitely happening now. Okay, let's see. I am really looking at how I can, let me see. Disconnect. And now let's see what I can get this going. Okay, settings. My main camera and is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Oh my goodness. Hey Sharon. Having a little interesting technical issues here.
Sharon, Dr. Landsberg, office mark.
And there we have. Is it gonna work? Are we gonna be able to do it? I'm not so sure. Hang in there. OBS camera. No? HD Pro camera. Okay, great. I am unable to be present. Thanks, Sharon. I appreciate that. Sharon's like, hang in there. It will work. That's the energy I'm getting, Shannon. I'm ad-libbing. Okay, in the meantime, I just discovered this really neat feature that even if I'm not showing my live camera, there is this little pulsing image that's going along with my voice. Okay, let's see what we can do. We're going to probably go a little over our time today. General, audio, background, recording, HD camera. Are we officially plugged in? Yes, we are. Try it one more time. Man. All right, all right, all right. There we go. High def, yes. Well, I mean, hey, Jules. How you doing? I'm really not sure what else to do. I really don't want to cancel our live stream, although maybe what we do is I cancel it and then we start up again, and this time the camera will work. How does that sound, guys? Well, usually I'm invisible, but not today. I know, I love the timing. I love the timing, so I'm glad you're here. All right, let's see. Let me just tune in and see if we're meant to just go like this. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. We did it. Thank you for all your collective energies. I'm delighted. Mel, I see you in the distance there. Welcome, sister. It's been a fun start to this live stream. Oh my gosh, so much fun. Hey, Joey. Nice to have you guys with us. So, this is the kind of Wednesday it is. We're just going with what's flowing. And what's been flowing is a little bit of technical difficulty. But what do you do when you're thick of it? You just kind of flow, right? And things always end up working out exactly as they should. So this was a lot of fun. I got to learn a couple of new tricks about StreamYard that I didn't know. And we all got to enjoy a little bit of ad lib on the spot tech. What do we call it? A tech circus. That's kind of what it was. All right, well, we're finally here. So without further ado, let me give myself a little bit of water. We have lots to talk about today. It's been a really interesting week. I'm really looking forward to hearing what the week's been like for you. Last week, we were still really in the thick of it. There was a lot going on. Schumann activity was very intense and very regular, so it was making it... It was setting the stage beautifully for the biological upgrades that we've been ensuing for weeks, really. But last week in particular was a big one for us. Almost every single night, either just after midnight or through the night or maybe starting just before, we were being blasted with much higher frequency energy, which was setting the stage for our bodies to really be able to receive these upgrades. Now, what that ended up feeling like and looking like for you would depend on what you're playing with. Let me move my mic a bit closer here. But either way, it was definitely for our highest good, but was bringing up different things for different folks. So some people were really swimming in and basking in what felt like a very heart-opening, heart-activating energy. And it's beautiful when we get to experience that. But for others, it felt really like you're moving through a sieve or being completely wrung out. And if this is, kind of you're relating to this, but you didn't get to hear last week's update, I highly recommend go take a listen to that, watch that one, because I think it'll help make what I'm talking about this week make even more sense. But it was a fun time. And I had really I had a great opportunity to hear from many of you. We did talk, there was some comments that were coming through, on our call. And then even between the call, there was, in speaking with different clients and friends and just people in our community. It's been really, really cool to hear and notice the theme of what we've all been experiencing and the different levels of it. Please keep in mind that it doesn't matter if you are somebody who is having let's say, a lighter experience, or if yours is feeling more heavy. It doesn't matter. You're exactly where you need to be. And this is really, really important. And you are serving yourself immensely, but also the entire collective by just having the experience that you're having. So, all right, a little bit of refreshment for myself. Is that making sense, guys? Yeah? Okay. Well, let's get into it because there's a bunch that I really want to talk about. Okay. So as you may have seen in the description, we are officially now, drum roll please, moving out of an extremely intense and very initiating passage. And it has been serving us immensely, like so much. Especially if it hasn't been feeling so great. So know that if it hasn't been feeling good for you this time, it's actually been serving you more than you know, and it's been so, so beneficial. So what I always say, and I'll say it again, is if you're going through something like that, whether it's now or in the future, go back into appreciation. I am not a supporter of going into gratitude per se. It's a lower frequency. If you've heard me talk about this before, if you know my work, if you've gone through Awakening Eden, you have or will hear me say, go into appreciation. Let go of the gratitude, go into appreciation. That frequency is going to allow you to ground and come back into your center, be reconnected to that higher aspect of you, your true expression. And when you come into alignment with that, everything that you are facing begins to be more easy to deal with. So Not to belabor that, but just a reminder, if you don't do that already, please start to practice that and play with that. If you got questions about it, feel free to pop that in the chat or message me, comment under the video, etc. If you're in the Elev8 community, just drop me a message in there. All right, loves. So we're moving out of that, and we are on this embodiment journey. So an embodiment journey is what? It's where we are being ushered into a phase of having our spirit essence, our spiritual essence in our bodies, expressing through these bodies while we are having our physical human journey, our human experience. So it takes a lot for these bodies to be able to handle that kind of higher frequency, energy, light, information. And as a result, it's going to bring up to the surface things that are not of that same resonance. When that happens, which is what's been going on for a long time, but we're in a very intense period of this, especially the last few weeks, is it brings stuff up, doesn't feel great, but as it is doing that, and we are having our challenging or enlightening experiences as we move through being triggered or being activated in a really powerful heart-centered way, we are stepping more and more at a biological level into the ability to contain that higher aspect of us in these bodies. So we're ascending while still in physical form. We don't have to die. Our bodies don't have to die, and then we have the experience of being in our spiritual form. We're getting to do it now in this lifetime while in these bodies. So it's going to take a bit of adjusting at a physical level, at a cellular level. And so that's what this initiation is about. We don't notice it so much. We can't see it as clearly, right? What's happening at the cellular level within our biology. But what we are able to see and feel very easily is some of the physical symptoms that we get. We're able to feel and relate directly to things that trigger us mentally and emotionally. And all of that triggering and bringing up of mental emotional stuff is purging our systems to allow our biology to up level, to be able to harness and really hold, contain these high frequency beings of light, which is the larger aspect of who we are within our beloved meat suits. I say that lightly because I have such reverence and respect and love for these physical bodies. But just to kind of use some language that's often tossed around, and hopefully that makes sense. Do you guys relate to that? I feel like I just went off on a tangent. Are you guys relating to this? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, Joey's like, yep, getting there. Sharon, yep, okay, amazing. So we're in another one of these phases. We have just, you could say, come into this downward portion of the sine wave, and we're now literally just about to come back up. Yeah, Sharon's saying, yep, makes sense, relate to that, beautiful. So it's exciting to be in this place. We are literally growing in ways we have not done before, which is sometimes makes you feel a little bit nervous. Anybody felt a little bit like, oh my God, almost like a little bit of butterflies? Yeah, even if it's something good that you're stepping into and you know, there's just this almost like a jittery, like, oh my God, it's happening. Has that been happening to anybody? Can you relate to that? And if you have, where are you seeing that or feeling that in your experience? Where is it showing up for you? I've got some clients that we've been having some amazing conversations lately, because while this is all taking place, there's also so much synchronicity that is happening that is really giving us the, yeah, Sharon's saying, yep, that's giving us the kind of like the evidence that we're not in this alone. We're not just humans bobbing around, making the best of what we can, having to do things and figure it all out, but rather that we are so divinely guided. And in fact, there is a higher essence of us that sees the entire playing field and is just like gently guiding us along if we're able to see, tap into, and then have the courage to follow these breadcrumbs that are being left for us. When we do, Magic and miracles, ease and effortless joy typically unfolds with a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And when we don't, we get something maybe a little diluted from that, but we're always being ushered into this higher opportunity. And the degree to which we are able to tap into that, connecting to our intuition, developing our intuitive muscle if we are still new to that, the more we're able to do that and then hear and see whatever it is that best resonates with you, but be able to catch that breadcrumb trail and then follow that breadcrumb trail is what determines the type of experience we end up having in this human form at this time. Does that make sense? What does Sharon say? I've had it day after day, excited about something, but don't know what. Oh, that's a great way to describe it, Sharon. That's literally where many of us are. And I was actually saying something very similar to my beloved Brian the other day. He's like, it was this morning. I'm like, I'm so excited for what's unfolding. But the reality is I really don't even know what I'm fully excited about. Like, you can feel the potentials. And this is kind of part of flexing and using that intuitive muscle is about. It begins as a sensation, and it doesn't always come together with a fully outlined plan of all of the next steps. But it doesn't have to, does it? Because even if you can't see the full path, you will feel the path. And you will feel the path by literally feeling excited, feeling a little bit of the jitters, but not necessarily knowing why, and just looking forward to what's unfolding. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. So growing where we haven't before, growing at levels that we haven't before, this is what we're literally going through. This whole time is giving us a stage to host our own dress rehearsal, because anytime we're going through this lower crest of the sine wave, before we come, this is all dress rehearsal stuff, right? You get to practice, you're getting thrown around, you're like a cork bobbing up and down in the water. But then when we reach the high, that's when we often start to jump onto the stage. We've been playing in the background behind the drapes, doing dress rehearsals, and now when we get to the front of the stage, it's like, okay, it's go time. And that's what we're stepping into now. But this is going to be a more prolonged, as we're doing this, these dress rehearsal periods are less and less like dress rehearsal and more elongated periods of really being on center stage, because now you're stepping into your God essence and creating your own personal Eden, your own personal heaven on earth. And so that's what this time is really in preparation for. And now it's no mistake that Monday is a new moon, a very special, powerful new moon, which I'll talk more about that later. But that is taking us right into Virgo season. Virgo season is a 9-month, right? September is a 9. There's going to be a lot that takes place within that month. But what does 9 represent? You guys know? Let's do a little pop quiz. What does the number 9 in numerology represent? Let's see. First of all, Sharon says, I'm a gotta-know person, so I'd be on an oracle card mode every day. I love it. Well, the mind really needs to have the answers. So I can relate fully to that. I remember parts on my path earlier in my journey where I was so hungry for knowing and having clarity. This is before I started using my own intuitive gifts, even to a fraction of what they eventually started molding into. And I was just so hungry. I had no guide. I really had no one to really lead the way with me. And so anything and everything I could find, and back then there really wasn't that much, but I was just grasping at it because like, I want some clarity or some kind of confirmation. So yeah, oracle cards can be a great fun way to start doing that, to get some insights and tapping into these things. So cool to hear that you're playing with that, Sharon. Yeah, I totally relate. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's see. Okay, but what these times are also doing for us, right? So we're going on to center stage, creating this heaven on earth for ourselves. September, 9 energy. If anybody has guesses as to what the 9 frequency is about, let me know. Are there any offers here? Yeah. Sharon says 9 is completion. Yeah, exactly, 100%. 9 is completion. There's the new moon energy, which is like the beginnings of something new. So we have a lot of newness, endings, beginnings. 9 is also very symbolic of the creator sequence, right? Everything coming back into the 0 point, the birthing point, which is source point, God essence. So it's very powerful. Let's see. Yes, 9 can be about balance as well. Oh, please don't go fuzzy. There I am. All right. Yes, there can be aspects of that as well. And so moving out of August, we're going to be coming into a period where we feel naturally more empowered. This chaos and the dramas of what we've been experiencing now, that feeling completely wrung out, as I was describing before, is starting to quell a little. It doesn't mean that the storms are gone. It's just kind of like the speed at which the wind is blowing, that wind of change, is just not going quite so fast. So you can kind of walk through the storms without having a completely horrified hair day. Not everything is complete. Thrown around. You can come out the other end. Yes, it's been a breeze. It's been, when a breeze is not a torrential storm with really, really hurricane-like winds, what do you end up getting? What are the benefits of a breeze, of a wind that is slower? It feels cooling. It feels soothing. It feels refreshing. It's welcomed, right? So we're moving into a period where there's a little bit more of that. Maybe not completely, because there's still so much change that's about to happen with you personally, with all of us personally, but also collectively. So we're stepping into these times now. This is now like taking those first steps into creating our brand new lives. Can you guys relate to the idea of really creating a brand new life for yourself? Are you seeing that show up anywhere in your life? What is the essence of 9 with all this in relation to perfection? What is the... Okay, I think I understand how you're asking this question. Great question, Sharon, if I'm understanding it correctly. So the way I'm understanding it and how I would answer this question is our purest expression, as an expression of source, for example, as an expression of God in physical form, that is perfection. So the origin of who we are is source, is God at its most finite level or our most expanded level, depending on how you are framing it. And we are coming back into that. And that really does encapsulate what this ascension journey is. It's us coming into the fullness or the perfection of who we really are. Not to say that, actually, you're putting a lot of emphasis on the uniqueness of you in however you are presenting, and acknowledging and recognizing the perfection in that. Because as aspects of source in physical form, with source, with our higher selves and souls at play within our experience, having us be unique and different is the perfection. So there's so much we can talk to. That's a great question. And 9 really does play fully into that. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you can relate to that. Okay, let's see here. Sharon says, yes, it feels like I'm being born into an entirely new life with completely different opportunities. Yes. Oh my God, yes. I'd love to hear more, Joey, if you feel like sharing. But that is indicative of this time right now. I mean, looking at my own life, holy smokes, I'll have more to share on this in the weeks ahead, but like location, where we are, where we're going to be living, the things we're going to be doing, how we're going to get there. what our day to day is going to look like. All of it is changing. And yet there is this undercurrent of stuff that is not changing at all. The mission, the purpose work is remaining singular. That's getting more clear, while all these other things are changing as if to reshuffle and reorient so that they can fall more perfectly into place, so that the things we are really here to do, aka our purpose work, what feels like mission work, what feels like, oh my God, me and my highest expression, my highest, some people would say my highest destiny, that can all come to the surface and be at the forefront of our experience a lot more easily. Does that make sense? That's great, Joey. Thank you for sharing that. Let me just take another sip. Sorry, guys. Wow. You guys probably know that I get extremely dehydrated when we are bringing forth a lot of high voltage aspects of ourselves, and we've got a pretty powerful group avatar happening today. Okay. Sharon is saying, awesome, thanks, understand. Great. I'm glad that was helpful, Sharon. Thank you. The storms in my life are currently wiping away the old. Oh, I love that. I love that. And Joey brings up a really good point, because it is important to recognize that despite what things look like, despite what the storm is dragging up on shore in your life, whether it's a financial challenge, whether it's a challenge in a relationship, whether it is challenges with business, with doing what you feel you're here to do, your purpose, your life work, whatever. They're all tied in together, but whatever is falling apart or feels like it's being pulled apart is creating a space and an opening for something that is even better. So if you're in that place where things are coming apart, have enough awareness. And I would encourage you that the moment you start to feel any kind of lower emotion around what is taking place outside that looks like things are falling apart and not working out for you, to pause, stop your mind from running that narrative, from spewing that dialogue that makes you feel as if, and judging as if what is taking place is not actually the most perfect thing for you. Stop yourself, look at that, and see where you can reframe what you're looking at so you can see more of the perfection that's actually presenting. Because it is presenting that way. It's really challenging sometimes for us to see that when we're in the thick of it. But if you can, then you will start to see what Joey is suggesting here, which is it's wiping away the old, which is making way for brand new. And brand new will always, these days, be better, brighter, lighter, more in alignment with who you are and the things that you really want. But you have to be open to seeing it. You have to be open to seeing it. I'll say it one more time. You have to be open to seeing it. And the truth is, nobody can see it for you. You have to see it yourself. You have to be willing to put those eyes on that can see. And if you do, you will be shown immeasurably, that'll be a word, amazing, awesome perfection in whatever it is that you're looking at. It doesn't take long to get yourself, to sync yourself to that frequency so those things can really just present and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Thank you. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Joey. Amazing. Joey says, it's helping let go of things that people that no longer serve me. Yeah, definitely. And that's where sometimes it can feel challenging because the mind may tell you the story that, oh my God, I'm losing this person. I'm losing this thing. But that comes from a perspective that isn't capable of seeing the bigger picture and that perfection, that amazing opportunity or person or thing that is just on the other side. Because if you knew that, you wouldn't be so concerned about what you're leaving behind. I was having a really beautiful conversation with a client recently, and it was really around that. It's like, if you could see what's on the other side, you wouldn't care. And I don't mean that in a bad way, or not in an offensive way, or I don't really say disrespectful way, but it wouldn't bother you. You'd be like, oh yeah, well, we had a wonderful life together, and that was amazing. And I can't wait to do this now, because you would see and be able to connect the dots. But what we're being asked to do, and this is the rub of the human experience, is you have to be able to connect the dots before you can see the next dot ahead. So you have to go and take that step not in good faith, in all faith. And when you do, the dots will be connected for you. And then all you have to do is look back one step and go, oh my God, I get it. Why was I resisting so much? Why was I so worried? Why was I so afraid? It's just you can't get there until you're there. Does that make sense? Thank you, Joey. So good. Let's see. Sharon says, reshuffling. Yes, where I am is leaving my life. My life is returning back to where I love. Yes. Yes. So much yes to that, Sharon. Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. Yep. And on a bigger piece, like, our lives are literally returning to more of what's actually in highest alignment for us. Which, again, if we're willing to look at it from a different perspective, one that is not focused on all of the loss or the things being left behind, but just open and curious about the new potentials, you will be blown away by what it is that's presented to you. The perfection of it, the beauty of it, the joy that you can get from it, the fulfillment, the satisfaction. Oh, I love that word, satisfaction. The satisfaction. Yeah, that's just incomparable. Apart, yes. Spewing the dialing. Yeah, I'm glad that resonates. It's a real thing. It just kind of spews. It's like mental diarrhea from the ego mind. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for all of the comments and the feedback. It's really wonderful to hear where you guys are at and to make this a interactive experience. So we started a bit late, so I am going to continue and share a little bit more, if that's okay with you guys. If you have to get off, please do. I completely understand. It was a very interesting start today. Okay, one more sip. Okay, let's go here. All right, so basically, where have we been? So the last 888 Stargate of August was on the 26th. So literally just a few days ago, right? Not very long. And then, whoops, sorry. And so that has now lost a bit of its sting, I think, as I described it. So it's not nearly kind of as potent feeling as it was when we might have been moving through it. And again, for you, that might have been very elevated experience of life during that Stargate, or maybe it was a bit of both, like really elevated and then like, wow, really illuminating some areas that this is a theme. It's been a theme in my life for as long as I can remember, and now it is fully present. And I'm now deciding that I'm done with this and I don't want to repeat this. I want my heaven on earth to start now. And so that passage has been monumental. And as we move into this month, we're already in the energies of it as we have been stepping further through August. We're in the tail end of it. So now we're feeling the Virgo energy. It's more of a connection to the body. It's more of wanting to be calculated, wanting to have plans in place, even though the soul doesn't plan in the same way we do. It's more about getting organized, getting structured, putting the foundational pieces in place and taking those first steps now with more clarity. We don't have to have the full picture. We just need to know now, and we're starting to feel it more now, like, okay, the worst is probably behind me. Can you guys relate to that? Like the parts that feel most challenging, I feel like I'm in the beginnings of feeling more stable, of feeling like I know where I'm going, or at least I know that I'm going to get even more clear on that and will be able to create the things that I've been dreaming about, wanting to create, etc. You guys feeling that? Because it's very much a powerful theme that's happening right now. Yeah? And so we're getting ready for liftoff. Mercury just went direct, as I mentioned in the beginning of our call. So it's a release from that inward pressure and all of that inner thinking and the mental stuff that's been going on. I know myself last night, I woke up in the middle of the night just like having downloads, conversations with myself, writing copy that was really about a conversation I was going to have through email with someone about making some decisions. I didn't end up even needing it, and just more good news was showing up. It was quite interesting. But that was feeling like the last pieces of this mental dialogue, this inner chatter of the retrograde in Mercury that really expresses a lot through the mind and the mind conversation. So we're moving out of that, creating our heaven on earth, our new Eden for ourselves as we're taking these first steps. And really, it's about stepping into our God power. So there's going to be some really powerful stargates as we move through September. If you have been with me for a while, you will remember, is it 2 years ago or 3 now? I'm losing track. But at least 2 years ago now, as part of the Rising Avatar Collective, I hosted a 9/9 Stargate meditation. And I don't remember the exact number of people that were there. Let's say 12. I don't remember entirely. But almost every single person, I think it ended up being every single person on that call, had some kind of physical healing miracle happen right on the call. There was tears, there was joy. It was amazing. And it's because through that avatar container that we created, those 9 frequencies, that God essence of the individuals that were present and those that tap in afterwards, was able to connect and bring forth our God creative essence, where anything can be created. And that's just one example, right? That's a very unforgettable moment for me because it was just so confirming and fun. Like all the things we know or I bring forward with a knowing, and then to see the evidence of it so playful and so easy and so light. It was wonderful. But this is just, that would have been a taste of what we are moving into as an everyday. The kind of magic and miracles that we can all experience as we start to dabble and play and step more into mastery of our mind and our body mind, our mind body, our biology, our connection to source, connection to the fullness of our spiritual energetic selves through these physical vessels, learning to work with and inhabit these physical vehicles with more of an understanding of what they are, of who they are, and how to do this in communion, in union with them, with us. That's such a big conversation. Anyways, we're going to talk more about the topics of intuition moving forward. This is something that has been coming forward as like, okay, the next piece for us to really be exploring together, activating more of our abundant way of being, and also a potential that is starting to come into reality is finding ourselves, in addition to where we are here on YouTube, on another platform that will allow me to go deeper, expand even more on topics that perhaps I can't hear in the same way. And I'm very, very excited about that. That just actually came forward yesterday. So this is the first time I'm mentioning it. More on that later. But all I can say is get ready for an incredible, incredible September. I'm so delighted to be on this path with you. The highs, what seems like the lows, all the way through. Let me see. Sharon, thank you for taking the time to discuss and educate. Sharon, my pleasure. It really is a pleasure. I look forward to these calls, and it's really fun when we start to have familiar names and faces and beings that are showing up, because we're really sharing the journey together. And I love that. I came for this, and so did you. And it's delightful and such an honor and a joy to get to do this together. This is what it's about, right? Thank you, Sharon. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Sharon, I've had a Mercury throw up of the past. However, I found I have changed how I dealt way better than ever before, and it feels like a miracle not to be triggered like before. Amen. Yes. Yes. I'm so happy to hear that. And congratulations. Yeah, it feels a lot better, doesn't it? To not be tossed around like a cork on an ocean, being sucked underneath, dragged through the sand, etc. And it is going to continue to get easier as time goes on. And so, congratulations, sister. I'm so happy for you. And if next week ends up feeling like a mess, that's all good too. But really, we are on a trajectory where things, despite how rocky they may be on the surface, we have the choice and the ability to navigate them with more ease. There will continue to be contrast because we came to play in an environment that is high in contrast, because that's how we get to feel more of ourselves, not just the ethereal form, right? That actually can get boring after a while. We came to feel physical things, emotional things, and so we get to do that when there's contrast. So yeah, it's going to get easier. And in the meantime, choose to see and look for. So that'll be the takeaway, okay? Choose to see the gold in anything that's presenting itself to you, regardless of what it looks like. If you need to, force yourself to just stop and say, what is perfect about this? What is perfect about this for me? What is just perfect about this in general? Like, what's so comical about this that you just can't make this up? I think I talked about in the last call about laughing at things, or I made a post about that a couple of days ago. Where can you laugh at the synchronicity? Where can you laugh at the, I can't make this up, at how ridiculous this is? And then you'll start to see the humor that your own higher self is trying to bring forward, so that you don't take things so seriously, so that you can see beyond the drama, the perceived drama of the situation, and just be able to get to enjoy the ride more. All right, my loves. Please let me know if this resonated. If you enjoyed this, if you have thoughts or comments, please leave them in the comments under the video. I don't know enough about YouTube, but I suspect it helps with the algorithm, so feel free to share. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Then I know that you will be getting the updates when I post them as posts or when I'm releasing another video. And if you'd like to be added to my email list where you get all the updates, feel free to send me a message, leave a comment, and just ask to connect. I'm just actually switching email providers, so I have to set up a new landing page so that we can have the emails collected, but I'd love to stay connected with you. All right, people. Love you so much. Thank you so much, Joey. Love you as well. And thank you for being here, everybody. I look forward to connecting again next week. And until then, enjoy the ride. Monday is the new moon. We'll probably talk before then, but yeah, look forward and catch yourself when your mind goes astray, and look for the gold. Number one takeaway, look for the gold. Sending you so much love. Bye till next time.